Kyle here from allmusic.blogspot.com. Quick video here on a Friday morning. I'm off, but I have to take care of some stuff with my mother-in-law and her medical stuff, so I'm not working today, but I gotta get going soon. But I just thought I would show a video of, I should be able to talk more in detail, I may not be able to, of the two albums from the band. They're from Southampton, Hampshire, or they were originally formed in Southampton, Hampshire, in the United Kingdom. A Formal Horse. So here's their debut full-length album, which is a mouthful. A Man from the Council with a Flamethrower. And I got the new one. It's called Meat Mallet. So show them quickly. This is kind of sadistic. I was just looking at this. I hadn't seen this until I just opened it just a bit ago. This came out in 2019, not 18, 19. Now, I didn't realize, but this band's been a band since they formed in 2014 or even 13. So they've been a band for a while. They released like singles, a little bit like Revere and Pure Reason Revolution to a small extent. They've been a band a long time, many years. Well, Eldrin was the same kind of story, but you can see the booklet has all the lyrics for that first album. But they took them, they spent many years just to release their first full length. It was in 2019. Something else in here. It was just the CD actually. They put it in a case. So yeah, and actually today's Bandcamp Friday, and while I bought both of these already, there's another band called Azure. I was recommended recently that I bought their latest album, a 2021 album, today specifically on Bandcamp Friday. Recommended for Caddisfly fans. So I'm a Caddisfly fan, someone got in touch with me. But here's the new one, just came out a couple weeks ago on July 23rd, Meat Mallet. And not quite as sadistic, but they're a four-piece band. They have a female singer who kind of reminds me a little bit of timbre vocally, and a little bit of, there was like one other singer I was thinking she kind of resembled. But she's got a very nice voice, very operatic at points, but she doesn't push herself too much. So she sings very much in key with their music. Their music, it's not prog metal exactly, but I would call it prog for sure. It's just, at points it sounds a little bit like Black Sabbath, and at points it sounds like Tool a little bit. Here's the CD, of course they did the same thing with that for the new album, Meat Mallet. But then, they would kind of share stuff in common with like Porcupine Tree and Bent Knee. Bent Knee especially. If you're a fan of Bent Knee, I've never heard A Formal Horse. Definitely they're recommended. Major Parkinson a little bit. They're kind of avant-garde, but not too much. Some of the titles, the Meat Mallet, the new one, just the name. Someone's After My Malted Milk, You've got a billion and I've got a half. Mr. C's 2003s. That's maybe my favorite track on the new album. But the first album, from 2019, again, Here Comes a Man. Here Comes a Man from the Council with a Flamethrower, which is called Here Comes the Man, has a couple of tracks that stand out specifically. The Unison one. Unison 1, Unison 2. Is there a Unison 2? There's Unison 3. I thought there was a Unison 2 also on it. But yeah, they use dynamics. The guitar is really good. Like the guitar riffs, they're punchy and heavy at points. So there's a little bit of Tool element, but there's a lot of sort of well-crafted dynamics on both these records. Which one do I like more? I probably still would lean toward the debut from 2019. I was just looking. Their first EP came out in 2014, self-titled. And I haven't even heard that. They have that one, Morning Jigsaw, from 2015, and Made in Chelsea rather, in 2017. They had a single called Bird. Bird's, I think, on the first album. Here Comes a Man from the Council. But yeah, this has been kind of addictive. They use some orchestral elements at points. I'd like to say more. I could list my favorites here on each record. Bird, yeah, the first track on their debut album is called Magazine Zoe Deschanel. As you can see, it's It's kind of a funny name, but they're the song titles are definitely something that they're either making distinct or not really that trying to be very creative with necessarily. I mean, maybe be more creative, but they have some odd song titles to say the least. They're not the only band that's ever done that kind of thing. Leto and Wright, and even Mew to an extent on some of their early records. But Bird, I just called to say I like you, not I just called to say I love you, like Stevie Wonder. B, last track on side Fun, Unison 1 and Unison 3. I guess there isn't a Unison 2. There's a title track. I mean, there's not really too many like long epic songs. It's almost like a suite, this first record. Here comes Man from the Council. The new album, I think, is a little more, in some ways, refined. But I mean, this one's just a warning. I mean, they're writing about food. Bring a bun. I'm lasagna. I'm lasagna, and the singles I'm lasagna and Space Day were the first two singles, and I was introduced to them from that. But Mr. C's 2003's though, that and Turkey 2000. Mr. C's 2003's has like a really crazy ending. It's very epic and climactic. So anyway, I'm still getting into them. I mean, even though I've been listening to them for the better part of 2 months, still kind of digesting these. I might follow up and do a little more. But yeah, don't be surprised if this ends up on my end of year list. Relatively high, because it's definitely one I've been listening to here and there since it came out on the 23rd of July. So yeah, I'll have to talk about Azure, assuming I'm getting into Azure as much as I'm getting into like a Formal Horse. But yeah, this band is really good. I'm glad I found them. Like between Eldrin and them, and maybe Azure, and this, I just actually discovered, but they're not a new band. This band called Saint Motel. So I'm finding new music, no question. Band called Lakes. Finally, their debut album came out last week, so I've been listening to that a little bit here and there. That it's not bad. It's kind of surprised how much I'm actually enjoying it. Although it would fit more within the sort of Pitchfork audience to an extent, but don't judge a book by a cover. Sometimes Pitchfork audience gets stuff good. I mean, I got dozens of examples from the Decemberists to Block Party to even the New Pornographers. So anyway, but thank you for watching. If you've heard of the Formal Horse, what's your take on them? Otherwise, check them out. I'll leave a link in the description box to Spotify to both these records and their Bandcamp page. In fact, if you can get it today, you'd be paying them directly. They don't even have to give Bandcamp anything because it's Bandcamp Friday, I believe. So, but again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.